I assume most of your operation focus on New York City.
A lot of them, yeah.
How do you imitate a New Yorker voice with these sock puppet accounts?
Living in Manhattan and being mentally unstable makes this shit easy. To a normal, well-adjusted person from outside the city, everyone here seems mentally unstable. Ever watch that 9/11 Howard Stern show?
No.
Check it out someday. It's educational. Ask anyone in NYC about it, and they're like, "It was a great bonding moment. He was helping us make sense of everything. He kept saying what we were all thinking." Then you listen to it, and it's everyone yelling at, "We need to nuke something, maybe the entire world. Get rid of all the Muslims. Fuck human rights. No investigation. Take their oil." Cheery. You watch it, you study it, you witness that specific brand of humor in the face of tragedy, and you understand that nothing outside of NYC really exists for the people who live here, or the vampires. A foundational text, really. Whenever I need to get in that New York mindset for work, I let it play in the background. Works like a charm. Seriously, give it a shot sometime.
Someday I might. For now, I think I will confront Van der Weyden with what you've told me. Or is it what you haven't told me? What's the story?
Me? Of course I haven't told you anything.
You're such a good investigator. You figured it out by yourself.
And if he asks, just tell him Kaiser sold you the info. That should do the trick.
I see. Thank you.
What for? I did nothing. Let Nastia show you out. If you don't know Van der Weyden's address, just ask her. ...
Thank you for having me, Mr. Van der Weyden.
No need, no need. I'll be happy to assist your investigation in whatever way I can, Mr. Winsky. That sickening sweet smile, and this office, spacious but oppressive. Here's a man who knows how to subtly unnerve people, but does he even realize it? And I'm sure the presence of the esteemed Madison Payne will guarantee I'm totally transparent. Am I right, Addison? ... Looks like I've interrupted the friendly meeting. In the far corner of the room, I spot glasses of blood and two spittoons. Vices and follies of the rich.
Are you sure I'm not wasting your time?
Not at all. Busy as I might be, I can't say I'm not curious about the findings in the case. Yeah, my thought exactly. So, are you handling your newfound How are you handling your newfound responsibilities?
I'm managing. I'll start by asking the obvious. Where were you the night Douglas Callahan met his untimely demise?
Van der Weyden raises an eyebrow and then lets out a restrained chuckle. Hear that, Addison? I might be suspected of foul play. Exciting, isn't it? Carter, no antics, please. Just answer the question. Of course. Well, I was here, just like I told Prince Panhard, as much as I love to celebrate my power, air quote. Sometimes one has to celebrate the amount of work piling up on their desk.
So your alibi is you were right here?
Alibi! Yes, I suppose.
Can anyone ask but you back up your story?
Well, I did make a few business-related phone calls as I was working, so there's that.
That doesn't really answer my question, does it?
He regards me with a stare reserved for a troublesome child. Miss Sowinski, this right here is my private little fortress. A space specifically designed to make me focus. I don't really let people in to break that focus. Aside from occasional esteemed guests, such as yourselves, of course, and the few wonderful Mexican women responsible for the cleaning duties.
So you don't have an alibi?
The look in his eyes screams, why won't you at least pretend to try and get on board with my program, kid? I suppose, but why would that matter?
Because I found something that belongs to you on the victim's person.
Pardon me? Took the words right out of my mouth. We're not talking about a murder weapon or something of that caliber, of course.
No, it was a short list of 4 names, unaffiliated kindred, whose service could be useful to anyone interested in toppling the current power balance in NYC. Tamika, Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon.
Excuse me, Miss Sowinski, but I'm afraid I don't follow. How is that something that, air quote, belongs to me?
I have it on good authority that it's a short list you've been shopping around to anyone interested here in NYC, be it Camarilla or the Anarchs.
Addison tenses up, and his host is not happy about it. This is just preposterous! I'm calling your bluff right here, miss! No, the bluff is coming right now.
Mr. Van der Weyden, if you want to voice concern about the information I have, how about you voice them to Kaiser and not me?
Addison turns to Van der Weyden, clenching his lips and gripping his wheelchair armrest tightly. Okay, now he's no longer smiling. ... For a brief moment, the ever-present smile of Van der Weyden's face goes missing, and the expression that replaced it reminds me of a horrifying void, like a sneak peek into what's really going on in his soul. I quickly collect himself, but the image is burned into my retina. To think this sort of unsavory rumors are circulating around me. I should be grateful. You let me know.
So you're denying it?
Of course I'm denying it! Categorically! You can bet your life savings on it! I certainly hope it is nothing more than an unfortunate blunder. A two-brote? Come on, Addison! We've known each other for years! Yes, what about it? I will. Sweet Jesus, Addison! I will get back to you in a second. Any more questions, Miss Sawicki?
Any of the names on the list sounds familiar to you?
No, I mean, yes, that is my long-estranged child on your list. That's just another reason why I'm flabbergasted anyone would consider it mine.
I see. Well, I hope you understand why I'm considering you a prime suspect now.
Yes, and I swear to clear my name as soon as possible. Scout's honor! Any more questions?
I'm good for now. Sheriff Alasmai will probably contact you later.
I will get in touch with him myself ASAP. Once again, thank you for your work. He extends his hands towards me, particularly forcing me to shake it. Then he puts his hand on my shoulder to lead me to the door, all too eager to see me off.
Out of sheer curiosity, Mr. Van der Weyden, I have one more question. It may be a bit random.
I really didn't need to ask it, but I wanted him to die inside for a moment. Of course, my dear. His slightly strained tone suggests I may have succeeded.
You seem like a person who couldn't leave outside of New York City. By any chance, have you listened to Howard Stern's talk show after the World Trade Center fell?
That I'm sure, but once again, carefully controlled chuckle escapes his mouth. Jeez, that is random. But well, New York, born and raised, just like you said. Of course I did.
Your opinion?
Same as everyone else. It was the spiritual guidance we needed that day, coming from the unlikeliest of places. A visceral response that verbalized everything we felt. A beautiful moment of unity. Not that I'm into low-brow jokes about Pamela Anderson and the typical shock value the show tends to offer, but as far as I'm concerned, Howard did an indispensable thing that day. Why are you asking?
No particular reason. I thought it might give me some insight into the kind of person you are.
Well, that's the kind of person I am. Just your average New Yorker.
So it seems. Well then, I'll leave you and Mr. Prey to your plans of conquering the city.
Conquering the... Now that's spicy. Addison, I love this girl. She's gonna go far, I'm telling you. She's got that spunk, that glint in her eyes. Goodbye, Miss Sawicki. I wish you a pleasant respite and a swift success in your investigation.
Good night.
I make it a point to bow to Addison's servant, not the man himself. Doubt he even noticed, but at least these invisible displays of rebellion makes me feel a little better about myself. Alright, the faster I leave, the better. Julia!
Father?
How are you holding up?
I'm fine, stumbling around and hoping for a miracle to happen, like always.
No better place to ask for a miracle than behind these gates, you know.
So I hear.
As I pass him the report about Aisling and Agathon, I look around, but Benoit is nowhere to be seen. Finally, a one-on-one chat. Where's Benoit, or just ignore Benoit's absence? I decide to stay silent and simply bask in the happiness of something good finally happening in my own life.
But of course, it doesn't last for long.
I sent Benoit away because I wanted to talk to you about him.
I knew it. Placate him how exactly? Benoit won't accept anything less than me joining a convent.
He's like a worried parent. A basic gesture here and there, showing up in church from time to time and pretending to listen would get him off your case.
I mean, I've been through this song and dance before with my own worried parents when I was a teenager, wandering in the forest until mass is over, not even being able to smoke because they would pick up the scent. Not the best moment of my life, you know. Part of the reason I'm distancing myself from them. I don't need this fake energy in my life, and I'm honestly weirded out by you asking me to lie.
I'm not asking you to lie, Julia. Let me ask you this way. Are you a spiritual person?
I guess I am. Kind of.
Always was. Suddenly being able to see ghosts did not change a thing. I think it's mostly because seeing the world as purely material seemed boring to me, somehow. You are, and you were raised Catholic. So can't you find a way to express that spirituality in our church?
I don't see a way right now.
And why is that?
I sigh. Too many people who take my soul needs to be saved because I live with a woman, for starters. I don't know, there's a lot of reasons. Like the sin of drinking blood every other night, or feeling some primal fear whenever I walk by a clergyman whose faith seems to actually be genuine.
That one sounds like an excuse. It's about your relationship with God, not other people.
In theory, but back in the old country, I heard my share of homilies that felt like complete condemnation of my kind, and none of that would condemn hate towards people like me. And you know, when church adjacent people try to stir shit around your very existence every few months, some minimal support will be appreciated. Sorry, all you can count is silent complicity.
I get it. I know there's a lot of work to be done, and a lot of undeserved hurt going around, but...
Listen! I don't even want to talk about it. I fucking hate the tone I use when I talk about it. I sound preacher than those preacher, and my biggest dream is just not give a shit. But I remember things. Like this story about a guy from my hometown. Most macho guy around, with a jaw you could sharpen a knife on. He became an actor in Warsaw. Very successful, deservedly so. The capital might not be NYC, but it's still a big city. And big city go to the heads of bumpkins like us. In this case, it resulted in a dream of coming out to his parents. He was surrounded by all these stories of openly queer people, played one even. So he thought he had a chance at making it work. So he goes back to his town, tells everyone he's gonna live his truth. His dad, a ruling party adjacent businessman, curses him. His uncle takes him to the bushes and starts to destroy him physically. It's so bad he gets to put in the ICU. His face and jaw gets ruined for good. Fast forward a year or two, with his career over, the guy is stuck in his parents' rustic house. With no other plans to follow, he turns to God, who tells him to forgive his skin. Everything is fine again. Angelic choir singing of divine mercy. A kind-looking priest talks about protecting our families. A man sits in the front row of the church, a disfigured smile on his face. But that story alone didn't drive me away. One time, when I saw how blissful he was, I could swear he was actually able to hear God whispering to him. He looked like a saint. It fucked me up so bad I left.
I feel nauseated now. Maybe I'm still reeling from hearing about Kara and Jesse Montgomery.
Now, if we could never talk about this again, that would be great. I know that I tend to sound like a loser who loves to pontificate about shit I can change, but at least I keep trying to change myself, damn it!
I won't offer empty platitude, but I think I understand what I was meant to understand. I hope I haven't insulted you in any way.
Whatever. I've learned not to hold people responsible for what the rest of their organization is doing. It would be hard looking into a mirror otherwise.
Not that there's much I could see in the mirror right now.